Everyone, so welcome to a new video. In this video we are going to set up AI agents from scratch without any code. So as you might already know, if you are following up the news, so AI tools are on the rise, and just to give an idea like how we can leverage AI into our day-to-day workflows, so I have set up this particular video to just give a quick reference. And also in the end of the video I will be giving you a walkthrough about my new Gen AI course, so we will be discussing about it in the end. So if you want to watch that, then please watch the video till end. Otherwise I'll just quickly walk you through this tutorial. So in this, what we are going to do is we are going to use an application that is N8N, and this application will help us to create AI agents that we can use and set up for production work, or maybe web search, or maybe if you want to set up some applications locally and you want to automate those, then also it can be leveraged. Okay, so just to give some prerequisites, so you need to make sure that node is available in your machine, and then you also need to make sure that npm is working. Okay, so this is how it works. And then we need an access to an LLM model, or so to say an AI model. So if you're using OpenAI, or maybe you're using Claude AI or Gemini, so you need to have a valid API key. Okay, if you don't have that, then I would recommend you to use open source models like OLLama. So I've already set up OLLama in my machine, and you can download it through its website. Just search Google on search, and then type OLLama in the Google search, and then you will get an application. Just download that file and OLLama will be installed. And after that you just need to download different models. So you can just go through their GitHub website and check what are different models available. Okay, so for me I will type OLLama list, and this is the model that I'm currently using, OLLama Mistral, and the version is latest. Okay, so now what I'll try to do is I will try to run N8N. Okay, so once your prerequisites are satisfied, completed, then you can use this command npx N8N, and then the application will start running. Okay, so it will take some time. Let's wait for it. As you can see on the screen, I already have set it up, so that's why it is able to locate the local file. And once it is running, it will be accessible on your local host with the port number 5678. Okay, and meanwhile I'll also make sure that OLLama server is running. Okay, so this is my OLLama server, and you can see certain API calls are being made. So you can see 200 200 200, so all API calls are successful. And then to run your OLLama server, you need to type OLLama serve. Okay, and let's just move it here, and then let's create a new workflow. Okay, so I've already created some workflows, so I will walk you through a new creating a new workflow from scratch. So let's just delete this entirely and create a new one. So once you click on add first step, so you can add this trigger manually function, and let's just move it to left and click on plus icon. So the tutorial is going to be from scratch, so you can follow along if you want. Okay, and let's just click on AI agent. So first I clicked on advanced AI, and then I clicked on AI agent. Okay, once you click on AI agent, let me just reduce the size a little bit. Yeah, so in this AI agent, what I will do, I will just rename it to calculator agent. Okay, let's just rename it. So you can see there are three options: chat model, memory, and tool. So meanwhile, once you satisfy the prerequisite which I described, you also need a database. So I'm using PostgreSQL database, and I've installed it in my D drive. So I'm using Windows machine for now, and if you're using Mac machine, then I would recommend you to use Docker containers. Okay, and if you need the complete end-to-end setup process how to do it, then you can purchase the course that I've created recently. We will discuss about it in the end of this video. Okay, so you don't need to worry about it. Meanwhile, if you are following along, then you can just select chat model option from here, and you can see different AI models that are available. So N8N almost supports every model that is available in the market. Okay, so for now I am using OLLama chat model, so I will click on it, and then you can see OLLama account. So I've already set up my credentials. As you can see, connection tested successfully. It is running on my local host with port number 11434. Okay, let's just retry, and you can see it is running successfully, so we don't need to worry about it. And now you need to select up appropriate model that you have set up in your machine. So I will click on this drop down, and you can select the model name. So this is Mistral for me, and I will go back to my AI agent, and you can press Ctrl plus S on your keyboard to save this workflow. And then I will click on memory option. Once you click on memory option, then you can see Postgres chat memory. Once you click on it, then you will see your credentials. For the first time users, you need to create a new credential by clicking on it. And for me, I have already set it up. So all the data that you see, localhost, Postgres, this is all default setup credentials. Okay, I haven't changed anything except my password. Okay, so once you download PostgreSQL Windows installer or Mac OS installer, at that time you need to add a password. If you keep it blank, then you need to keep this field as blank. Okay, rest all the details are quite same. Okay, I haven't changed anything. So this is how it looks like for me, and I will go back to my chat agent again. Now I will click on the tool. So what kind of tool I'm going to use? I will be using calculator because this is a calculator agent. Once I click on it, you do not see any parameter values because calculator is a default application and we cannot send any kind of parameters to it. That's why we do not see any parameter options. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Now I will quickly save it by pressing Ctrl plus S on my keyboard and go to canvas again. Now this is how the workflow looks like. Okay, let's just chat with the model now. Okay, because LLM models are used to chat, so that's how we are going to use it. So let's check basic input. What is 10 plus 2? Okay, and you can see the agent is started, and I have sent the prompt, so it is being loaded in my database, and you can see the logs that are printed on my OLLama server. Okay, this is the OLLama server logs printed, and you can see it is still running. You can see the prompt is getting, it's loading till now, and this is the input data. If you see what is 10 plus 2, this is the input, and output is still being processed. It usually takes 25 to 30 seconds for my machine, but if your machine is slightly slower, then it might take up to 1 minute or 2 minutes. Okay, depends upon entirely upon the GPU and your CPU configuration. Okay, so as you can see on your screen, an API call was successful and 200 status code. It took 43 seconds to complete it. And if I click on OLLama chat model here, you can see input human input is what is 10 plus 2. So this was my prompt, and the output is still being decided. Calculator, it sent a query to the calculator that is 10 plus 2, and calculator gave me the response of 12. Then it again went to OLLama chat model, and it printed this particular output that is available in my chat now. And similarly, this output was again saved to my database. Okay, this is basically used to refine the further outputs. Okay, so my input is being saved, my output is being saved in the database so that it refines its responses with time. Okay, that is why, because AI models or LLM models are used to like fine tune the data. Okay, so we need to fine tune it to give better response. All this information is available in my course. Okay, so we will discuss about it in the later in the course in the video. So this is how the agent looks like for now, and I have created another agent if you want to see that. So what I did, basically I created a agent setup. Let me hide this chat. And when chat messages is received, so when I set my prompt, so this agent uses OLLama chat model as usual, and it uses PostgreSQL database to store my inputs, and then it is using SERP API. So SERP API is basically a Google search API as you see on your screen. Okay, and you can register or sign up for the API access, and it gives around 100 API calls for free. So you can sign up and then you can set up your account over here. So just to give you a brief overview how I did it. So once I click on tool, the previous configuration remains the same. Okay, chat model setup, it remains the same. And then if I go back to my agent again, memory setup is also same. If I go back to my agent again, I just updated the tool. Instead of calculator, I updated it to SERP API. Okay, if you click on that SERP API option, you need to add your API key. Okay, so this is the security, and once you add your API key, you can just click on this try option. Okay, so it will check the connection is successful. So if your API key is valid, then it will run without any issues. Once that is done, then I will go back to canvas again, and then I added another AI agent. So this AI agent has access to OLLama chat model to refine the output. Okay, now what I did after this setup is done now, so I clicked on this. Initially for like your workflows, it will be in inactive state. Okay, so inactive state basically means you cannot access this workflow outside N8N application. Okay, so if you want to access it outside this application, then you can click on active option and you click on got it, and then you just click on the workflow or just double click on this one, and then you will get this option make chat publicly available. Okay, once you enable this one, then you can use this particular URL. Once you click copy this and you go to your browser, you paste it. Okay, so you can see this is the AI agent that I created, and now it is accessible on this particular URL. So suppose like if you're using a virtual machine and you want to use this particular model outside that virtual machine, then you can obviously make it publicly available or make it publicly available within your organization, and then you can access it outside without intervening with the setup of the workflow. Okay, that is how it works. So there are some basic details. Hi there, and my name is Mistral. So I set it up. So you, instead of Mistral, I will type like OLLama and click on save, and then I will refresh this, so it will update that. So we paste the URL in our browser window, right? So this is how it will look like, and I already told you like how we can update this one. So if I go back to my workflow, and this was the model, yeah, so here I updated the name, and then if we go back to the chat window, I have already created one prompt. So this prompt is basically generating news blog for Agentic AI as per the news in 2025 from top companies like OpenAI and all. And in the end, provide me the links for the news reports you referred. So this is how it will look like. And this particular agent also, I just wanted to give you an overview what I did. So in this particular agent, what I did is like I have given a system prompt using which it will act as a blog writer agent, right? And it is using the output of the previous agent. So this AI agent will generate an output for the news report, and it will make it readable and more concise by using this particular agent, because this is the blog writer agent, and I've already mentioned the details here, right? So now if I go back to the chat and send this prompt, an execution workflow will be triggered, as we already know, right? So this is the execution workflow, and what I do, I will filter out by keeping it in running state, and this is how the logs look like. You can see this is what my N8N logs look like, and the execution is running. So once there is some output, I will join back the video. Okay, a final blog that we can see on our screen. So the prompt was to generate the blog with the links available in the end. So as you can see, it has printed all the latest news, I guess. OpenAI's latest model 5 and advanced language model. So model 5 is about to be released, so that's why it has script that particular information. And then you can see the rest of the data, right? So just to give you a brief overview how it performed, so this is how it looks like. So it made two API calls. First one took 3 minutes 30 seconds, and the second one took 4 minutes 7 seconds. And the time it took is little slightly longer, but the problem is like I am using screen recorder and all multiple softwares are running at this particular moment of time. So due to that, it is taking slightly more. But if you are just running OLLama and this N8N application, then the time execution will be much less. And I will bring back my window for this one as well. So N8N logs, this is the one. And then let's quickly go back to the workflow and check out the execution. So I guess the execution should have been stopped. So let's click on success ones, and this is the one that it took in total of 7 minutes 44 seconds to complete. So the primary advantage that we can have over here is like we can schedule these workflows, and we can execute them in the night or whenever the machine is free. So it will execute, and in the morning you can get the prompt or the information available. So let's just quickly go over to the agent to analyze the input and output. So this is the message that it sent, generate a news. This is my prompt, so it took it as chat input, and this is the output that it generated. And then let's go back to the agent again. Let me just go to the memory. So this particular information is stored in the form of output, and you can see the complete data, and this is the content that is being stored. Let's quickly go back to the agent, go to the tool. Oh, this is the SERP API. In SERP API, we are not seeing much details. Let me go back to the agent again. Let's click on API. Okay. So now let's go back to our second agent, and this is the agent that it used. So title, top tech companies, progression and all. So this is the output. So this output is basically generated by the first agent that we created, right? And this is the final output that it generated, right? And the logs, you can also see the logs, all the information that it used, right? All the information, and then this is the output. So this input was generated by agent number 1, and this is the output generated by agent number 2, right? This is how it looks like. Quite good. And if you want, you can explore this tool. And just to give you a brief overview about the course, so Gen AI course I have created, and this course contains a lot of information about different open source tools as well as the tools that are paid. But the paid tools are not that expensive. We can use around 1 cent, 2 cent to start with it, and then if you like that, then you can obviously pay more and try to use it and to explore more. Similarly, like for OpenAI APIs, if you want to use it in your workflows, then it usually charges $5, and you can do a lot of things in that $5. Okay. So also, if you don't want to pay anything, we have also explored some open source tools like OLLama and all. So you can use those as well, the way I have shown the integration. And similarly, there are a lot of things to learn in AI, specifically to prompt engineering. What are different prompt elements, how we can leverage it in development, in QA, how we can make sure that it helps us to speed up or reduce the efforts that we spend on manual labor tasks, similar to the thing that I have explored over here. So there are a lot more things that we have covered in the course. So if you want, you can explore that in the course, and obviously I will leave the link in the description section, and you can read more about it, and if you want, you can purchase it through that link. So we will meet in the next video. Bye bye and take care.